Hey, friends. I've been working on this Winter Wind etude. Etc. And it's influencing my improvisation. I had a kind of what's a pretty frequent experience yesterday, which is that I was working with a student, and she summarized what I was kind of conveying to her in such a way that that it kind of took my own thinking a step forward. I was talking about just a kind of simple technical thing where we have our hand on a pattern of notes, right? So like, we're playing a little octave pattern here, or whatever it is. I forget what there's a right hand part too. Really simple kind of thing. But it was one of those situations where we had to play the notes and then let our hand just completely let go of everything. And because otherwise we end up holding a position that's not necessary, and there's undue tension in our hand, which gets in the way, of course, of doing whatever we need to do next. And it's a matter of accepting. And so what she said was that she said something like, oh, it's a matter of also being willing to let go of what I've just done so I can do the next thing. And I was like, exactly. Exactly that lesson. And that is also a marquee lesson for me right now in my own life, letting go of what I've done in order to do the next thing. And I'm learning it, as I so often do, I'm learning it through music. I'm learning it through the piano. And sometimes it's on such a kind of basic, concrete level that I have to, like, after I play a note, I was practicing this section. Left-hand notes, or even before that, I have to get off the note to be able to come up and play the next chord. And what I tend to do is, and then try and leap to the next thing. My hand wants to stick where it is. I'm demonstrating this pretty haphazardly right now, but there's a kind of, if our hand gets stuck on what it has just done, because once this note is played, there's not much I can do. I can sit here and be as tense as I want, but the note is done and the string is going to vibrate as long as it vibrates till I take my foot off the pedal. So, and yet, most of us, many of the people I work with, I would say for most of us as musicians, as pianists, this is part of our struggle, is learning that when something is done, it's actually done. And that gives us the freedom to keep moving, the freedom to take the next series of notes and get in there and let it happen. Let things flow. It's allowing flow to happen. Letting go and letting flow. And I'm just enjoying right now both that, because the lesson that she kind of mirrored to me was one that I had just in the last couple of days kind of been coming to it through my own practice and finding some ways in which I was like, oh my God, yeah, my hands have got to move. I've got to get off these notes. Etc. But when my hand has the ability to leap, especially in this case the left hand, because it's the one that's leaping around the most, to leave notes behind practiced. We actually have to practice letting go. So often in music, we think the thing we have to practice is doing the next thing. And so we spend so much energy and so much psychic energy trying to figure out how to do the next thing, not realizing that we're still holding on to the last thing. And the problem with the next thing is not doing the next thing, it's letting go of the previous thing. Now, if that's not a lesson for life, if that's not a sort of like micro lesson that applies to the macro, I don't know what is. So I've just had such a great time ingesting that, experiencing that over the last couple of days, and then having literally a student just say it right back to me, and without me even indicating that I was thinking about this. I wasn't thinking about it, and she just put it right into words, and I was like, yes, nailed it, great, more of that. And yet, the insight is great. The insight is the first step, because now we have a kind of yardstick to gauge our movement by. But the practice still has to be the practice. We still have to do this again and again and again, whether on piano or in life. This is, letting go to let flow, letting go in order to move on. Noticing when something is hard. This is the trick. When something is difficult and we're focused on figuring out something difficult, taking our attention off that thing and onto the previous thing, onto where we're coming from, and seeing if there's any kind of residual holding on there that's actually causing an issue. Because a lot of times, if we'll just do that, then the new thing all magically just does itself. I feel like I'm speaking to my own deepest psyche right now. Yeah. That's where I am today, folks. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you as always. Have a wonderful day. I will see you soon.